FELIP SB19 vs FELIX Stray Kids. Two names. One syllable apart. Two completely different journeys to global dominance. FELIP vs FELIX, when two global forces collide. FELIP of SB19, the independent architect, the self-made visionary from Southeast Asia. FELIX of Stray Kids, the deep-voiced phenomenon forged inside one of K-pop's biggest machines. This isn't about who sings better. It's about power, influence, identity, and impact. What happens when raw independence faces polished industry firepower? When underground grit meets global infrastructure? Don't scroll, like, share, and subscribe. This channel isn't about noise, it's about real perspective. Tonight, we don't choose sides. We break down who they are, what they represent, and why the world is watching both. FELIP and FELIX didn't just start in different places, they were forged by entirely different worlds.
Getting attracted, he cannot like magnet. I cannot explain this reaction. 혹하니 날 one for three. Big air thing in my mind, turn me like kicking. Kimi wa ain't no phone. Kokoro nakamatsu ripping.
FELIP's journey begins far from the polished corridors of the K-pop industry. His rise with SB19 wasn't backed by a powerful system designed to export stars. It was built through trial, rejection, and relentless self-belief. Early on, nothing was guaranteed, no global safety net, no instant validation. Every skill had to be sharpened under pressure. Every opportunity had to be earned twice. That grind created an artist who doesn't wait for permission. FELIP's artistry feels raw because it was born raw, shaped by scarcity, discipline, and the constant need to prove worth. FELIX, on the other hand, entered a world designed for precision. Recruited as an Australian-Korean trainee, he was placed inside JYP Entertainment's elite system, a pipeline refined over decades to produce global icons. From vocal training to performance psychology, nothing was accidental. FELIX was molded, guided, and tested within a structure that polishes potential into consistency. His refinement is not artificial.
Lovers, we cannot stop on 10. Boom. Da 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 da, I'ma make it. Boom, 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 boom.
It's engineered excellence. This is where their artistic DNA diverges. FELIP represents hunger, the fire that comes from building something when no one expects you to succeed. FELIX represents refinement, the power of a system that transforms talent into a global language. Self-built versus system-built. Both valid. Both dangerous. Offstage, the contrast between FELIP and FELIX becomes even more striking and even more compelling. FELIP carries an almost anti-idol energy. His persona leans dark, introspective, and unapologetically serious. He doesn't chase likability, he commands respect. There's vulnerability in how he expresses doubt, pressure, and ambition, but it's never packaged for comfort. Fans don't just admire FELIP, they see themselves in him. His honesty feels unfiltered, as if he's saying the things many artists are afraid to admit. That's why his presence resonates so deeply with listeners who crave authenticity over polish. FELIX operates on a different emotional frequency.
Where you going? Don't let him flow.
His warmth is immediate. His optimism is disarming. Whether through his smile, his fan interactions, or his words, FELIX radiates safety. He feels approachable, almost grounding, despite standing on massive global stages. Fans don't just support FELIX, they feel protected by him. His charisma doesn't intimidate, it invites. This difference explains their fan loyalty. FELIP attracts those who want representation, people who feel unheard, underestimated, or overlooked. FELIX attracts those seeking comfort, joy, and connection in a chaotic world. One offers truth without soft edges. The other offers light without conditions. Both are powerful, and neither is accidental. When it comes to music, the real difference between FELIP and FELIX isn't talent, it's where creative power lives. FELIP operates from a position of control. His musical identity is deeply personal, shaped by direct involvement in writing, conceptual framing, and sound direction. Whether solo or within SB19, his fingerprints are everywhere. This level of ownership allows FELIP to take risks most idols never touch: darker themes, unconventional textures, and narratives that refuse to dilute themselves for mass appeal. His music doesn't ask to be liked, it demands to be understood. That's the freedom and danger of steering your own ship. FELIX thrives inside collaboration. Within Stray Kids' 3 ratchet-driven ecosystem, creativity is collective, fast-moving, and experimental. Ideas bounce, clash, and evolve in real time. FELIX may not always lead the pen, but he amplifies the vision, his tone, presence, and emotional delivery, turning concepts into moments. This system allows Stray Kids to innovate without losing cohesion, refining bold ideas into globally digestible anthems. Here's the contrast. FELIP pushes boundaries by stepping outside the system. FELIX pushes boundaries by maximizing what the system enables. One risks isolation for authenticity. The other risks blending in for unity. Both approaches create impact, just through entirely different engines. Vocally and on stage, FELIP and FELIX wield 2 completely different weapons, and both are lethal. FELIX's voice is instantly recognizable. That deep, resonant tone doesn't just stand out, it anchors entire songs. It's a global signature, the kind of sound that cuts through language barriers in seconds. When FELIX enters a track, the energy shifts. On stage, he doesn't overpower. He draws you in. His presence is magnetic, almost effortless, turning contrast into impact. The softness in his demeanor makes the intensity hit harder when it arrives. FELIP's strength lies in control. His delivery is sharp, intentional, and layered with emotion. He modulates tone with precision, switching from restrained intensity to explosive release in seconds. On stage, FELIP dominates. His gaze, posture, and timing create a sense of authority, as if the performance bends around him. You don't just watch FELIP perform, you feel like you're being confronted by the music itself. This is dominance versus magnetism. FELIX captivates by pulling the audience closer. FELIP commands by standing unmovable at the center. Internationally, both styles work because they tap into different instincts. One appeals to connection, the other to intensity. Different weapons, same impact. In today's industry, visuals aren't decoration, they're strategy. And FELIP and FELIX play this game in radically different ways. FELIP's aesthetic leans unapologetically avant-garde. Sharp silhouettes, dark palettes, experimental styling, his visuals feel intentional, almost confrontational. He doesn't dress to blend into trends, he dresses to disrupt them. Every look carries meaning, reflecting mood, message, and artistic direction. This isn't fashion as endorsement, it's fashion as self-expression. FELIP controls his image with the same intensity he controls his music, making his visual identity feel authored, not assigned. FELIX exists at the intersection of luxury and accessibility. His runway-ready visuals, clean lines, and high-fashion polish have made him a natural fit for global fashion houses. Brands don't just dress FELIX, they amplify him. His look is versatile, elegant, and globally readable, allowing him to move seamlessly from stage to editorial to campaign. The result is an image that travels fast and lands everywhere. This is the core contrast. FELIP's image is self-directed artistry. FELIX's image is globally amplified excellence. One builds meaning from the inside out. The other projects meaning outward at scale. Fashion houses chase FELIX. FELIP shapes his own visual universe. Different paths, both powerful in defining modern idol authority. Beyond music and visuals, the real weight of FELIP and FELIX lies in what they represent. FELIP stands as a symbol of Southeast Asian independence in an industry long dominated by Korean systems. His success feels personal because it breaks an invisible ceiling. For many fans, FELIP isn't just an artist, he's proof that talent from outside traditional power centers can compete, lead, and redefine the rules. His rise carries the emotional weight of representation, especially for listeners who rarely see themselves reflected at the top of global pop culture. FELIX represents something different but equally powerful: global belonging. As an Australian-Korean artist thriving in K-pop, he embodies the genre's evolution beyond borders. FELIX feels universal because his story mirrors the modern fan: multicultural, multilingual, and globally connected. He doesn't replace cultural identity, he blends it, making K-pop feel open rather than exclusive. That's why their impact stretches beyond charts and numbers. FELIP's success resonates deeply. It feels earned, hard-fought, and symbolic. FELIX's success radiates widely, it feels shared, expansive, and unifying. One stands for being seen. The other stands for being connected. Both redefine what global stardom looks like and who gets to claim it. Every artist eventually faces the same question: freedom or infrastructure? FELIP and FELIX stand on opposite sides of that equation. FELIP operates with creative freedom, but freedom comes with exposure. Fewer safety nets mean every decision carries real consequences. If a concept fails, there's no massive system to absorb the impact. That pressure sharpens instincts. It forces clarity. FELIP's career is built on ownership of sound, image, and risk. His success feels earned the hard way because it is. He navigates an industry where independence demands constant proof of relevance and resilience. FELIX exists within one of the most powerful entertainment infrastructures in Asia. JYP Entertainment provides scale, strategy, and stability. Global distribution, elite production teams, and crisis buffers. That doesn't remove pressure, it reshapes it. FELIX isn't fighting for survival, he's fighting for excellence under a microscope. Every move must meet global expectations. Every performance must justify the system's investment. This is risk versus security. FELIP risks falling to build something real. FELIX carries the weight of maintaining something massive. Their pressures look different, but they're equally intense. And when success arrives, it means the same thing. It wasn't luck. It was endurance earned in different currencies. If artists are power, fanbases are force multipliers, and Aten and Stay are among the most formidable online. Aten is fiercely protective. Built through struggle and shared wins, this fandom operates on loyalty rather than numbers. They defend, uplift, and mobilize with emotional intensity. For Aten, supporting FELIP and SB19 feels personal, like safeguarding something they helped build. That deep emotional attachment turns into relentless dedication, especially when challenged or underestimated. Stay, on the other hand, is a global machine. Massive in scale, highly organized, and digitally dominant, they move with precision. Streaming goals are met. Voting campaigns are coordinated. Social media trends are executed like strategy. Stay's power lies in reach. When they mobilize, the internet feels it. Their presence alone can shift metrics overnight. This creates two types of fear online. Aten is feared for refusing to back down. Stay is feared for overwhelming numbers. One fandom fights with heart. The other with infrastructure. Both can dominate timelines. Both can rewrite narratives. And when these fanbases collide, it's not just support, it's digital warfare fueled by identity, pride, and loyalty. Longevity is where hype fades and true artistry is exposed. Trends move fast. Systems change. The question isn't who shines now. It's who still matters later. FELIP's path is built for the long game. His growing identity as a writer, producer, and creative director positions him beyond the limits of performance alone. Even as sounds evolve, ownership keeps him relevant. Artists like FELIP don't age out, they transform. As voices mature and visuals shift, creative control becomes currency. His willingness to experiment, to fail publicly, and to rebuild gives him flexibility when trends turn hostile. FELIX's evolution follows a different arc. Inside Stray Kids, growth is collective. The group adapts together, absorbing new sounds while protecting a core identity. FELIX's role continues to expand vocally, visually, and emotionally. Over time, his global recognition opens doors beyond the group, fashion, hosting, global ambassadorships, and eventually solo work. His longevity is tied to connection, not isolation. This is solo future versus group legacy. FELIP survives through reinvention. FELIX endures through expansion. When trends change, FELIP adapts by redefining himself. FELIX adapts by bringing the world with him. Different strategies. Same destination, relevance that lasts. So, FELIP versus FELIX? That framing was never the point. This comparison isn't about crowning a winner. It's about understanding two blueprints of modern stardom rising at the same time. FELIP symbolizes ownership, independence, identity forged under pressure. He represents the artist who builds from the inside out, who chooses meaning over comfort and control over convenience. His success sends a message: you don't need permission to matter. FELIX symbolizes reach, connection, global unity. He represents the artist who turns structure into strength, who uses scale to amplify warmth, accessibility, and belonging. His success proves that systems, when aligned with authenticity, can create something massive and human at once. These are not opposing truths. They are parallel ascensions. One path is sharp, solitary, and deeply personal. The other is expansive, collaborative, and universally felt. The industry doesn't need to choose between them. It's stronger because both exist. FELIP and FELIX aren't rivals. They're evidence that global music has evolved, and there's room at the top for more than one kind of greatness.